and it's about 5 children who were kidnapped and severely beaten, allegedly by a local church pastor and church members. One of the 5 children has since died. It's believed the church members were trying to carry out an exorcism at the time. Now, our senior reporter, Dessen Thadia, is following the story. He joins us now. Dessen, this is just an awful story. 17-year-old Tozama Jula, the child beaten to death in this so-called exorcism. What more do you know about this?
Well, Sal, firstly, let me just apologize. We are traveling back from the South Coast where that story was. That's where we met with the Jula family, as well as the MEC for Social Development in the province. That was a meeting that took place today. It's a community cell that is just desperate for answers about exactly what transpired during that week. Those teenagers were gone for about a week, but I think the scariest part of it all was that they were at a home in the area, and we are also told that some of the family members, some of the parents were in that home when the pastor was performing this alleged exorcism at the time. So they've been gone for that period of time, and the reason for all of this was that the girls now allegedly acting strangely, and one wonders if there was justification to have an exorcism performed. But this is what the MEC for Social Development had been told when she went out there to get an assessment of exactly what transpired. Initially, this case didn't come to light. The 4 other girls had been sent back to school, and they were quite badly injured as well. And it was after this intervention by social workers that they had eventually informed them about exactly what had happened. Let's listen into what the MEC for Social Development had to say to us when she visited the area earlier today.
5 kids have been rescued, but for me, those 5 kids, anything could happen to 5 of them if they were not rescued, the other one were not rescued. But what happened here and what we received from the family members is that the children were taken to the church just to be treated, to receive treatment, after they have identified some unusual action from the kids, which they suspected there are some demons which the kids have. So they took the children to the church, but the church did the opposite. The kids were tied because the family found them with hands tied, with feet tied, and sleeping on the floor. Their bodies were half naked, and the 4 of them were beaten there. They were beaten in a form of, we understand they were shamboked by the leader of the church. But all what we have received, it tells you that the law should take its course.
Yeah, and we understand the police are investigating possible murder charges. So, Dessen, what I'm understanding is that there were 5 children from different families. But from what we were hearing there, it seems that the family handed over the children for this exorcism, but then only later realized how badly mistreated the children were being. I know that you've been in contact with, I think, the family of the girl who was killed. Tell us what you know about that.
Yeah, that's I think the difficult part of this entire gruesome tale, Sally, is that we were trying to establish to what extent did the family know about what was taking place. So just to locate all of this for you, the home in which the alleged exorcism was taking place was practically next door to the Jula homestead. That's where all of those kids were at the time. They were tied, and that's where they were kept. And at that point, we were also told that Tozama Jula's mother was also there. And you correctly said that she was aware of where her child was. But the claim now from family is that she didn't know to what extent this exorcism would harm her child. So that's when she established, allegedly, that the child had been beaten, and ultimately that led to her death. So the family is very concerned about all of this. They say that they have engaged with the mother. That is her version of events that she's given to them. I did have an opportunity to speak to Mxolisi Jula. He's a ward councillor as well as a relative. Let's listen to what he had to say about how the family is coping.
One of our family members reported that our sister is there at a Lezi family where there was a pastor who was praying for kids. And then my mother took a decision to take her there get some help, since she noticed that she's doing some unusual things. And then we got that report that on Sunday she passed on, where we all as family members get together to find out a truth about this, how it's happened. We get all the reports for my mother and my brother, who told us that they went there because they told them that there is a party, big party, which was going to happen there, which was, we discovered that it was all lies. They was about to pray for these ladies because they said they've got demons. And the pastor was there to take off those demons, where he ended up beating all 4 girls. And our sister was mostly beaten. And when we saw the footage or pictures, she was naked, and then she was tied up with the rope, and she was lying on the floor, and then the pastor was busy beating her.
I mean, Des, and this is absolutely horrific. And, you know, we have to know that, you know, we know that police are investigating, obviously, potentially a charge of murder and everything related to what these children went through. Do you know if the pastor has been arrested? And can you tell us more about the other 4 children? How old are they? What are they alleged to have done to lead their families to think that they needed an exorcism?
So I'll lead you to the police update in a short while. But just to answer your question, let's start with the condition of those 4 other teenagers. So remember, all of them are aged between about 15 and 17. Those were the ages that we were given. And they are now in a place of safety. So they've been taken away. They've been taken away from their homes. I did try to get a response from the MEC on that as to whether they have been removed permanently from their homes as a result of what had happened over that week. But she says that it's a temporary measure to allow the investigation to take place, but also to allow them to heal, because they are in a bad way, both physically and emotionally, as a result of what happened. So that's the situation with them for now. Arrangements have been made for them to get to school. The allegation here is that they were behaving erratically. That's what we've been told. As to what that meant or what exactly, how that manifested itself, we haven't been informed about that yet. So right now, it's all up in the air. Whether the parents were complicit in that's also going to be a part of this investigation. The pastor in this instance has been arrested. We've been given a confirmation by the Social Development Department, as well as the police, saying that a 40-year-old man had been arrested. But the interesting thing here is that initially this was reported as a suicide, and it was only later that it was established that Tozama Jula had died as a result of the wounds, or the injuries rather, that had been inflicted upon her. Let's listen to what Brigadier J. Naika had to say about the police investigation.
The 29th of May, police at Port Edward received a report of a person who died at Brema area. When police arrived at the scene, they witnessed the body of an 18-year-old woman who had sustained various injuries to her body. The police officers were informed by the family that the victim had committed suicide because she was possessed by demons. An inquest docket was opened for further investigation. On Friday, the 3rd of June, the police officers in Port Edward received a report of a 16-year-old girl who was treated for injuries at a local clinic and was taken to hospital for medical attention. Upon investigation, police discovered that there were 3 other girls inside the house, and the 3 girls were aged between 15 and 18, were rescued by police from the house. At the same time, the post-mortem results were received, and it indicated that the first victim died due to injuries sustained from a severe assault. Charges of murder, attempted murder, as well as assault with intent to inflict grievous bodily harm were opened for further investigation.
An absolutely awful story. Dessen, thank you very much for telling us about it. It is crucial that we engage with these issues, and I appreciate your time.